Right, welcome to the broadcast. Samuel Keller is our sign language interpreter tonight. My name is Anne Odida, and remember to share your feedback with us on our social media platforms at Kutv_Kenya, that is on X and YouTube, and on my social media platforms at Anne Odida on all social media platforms. We begin. Now, the bipartisan talks between the Kenya Kwanza government and Azimio One Kenya coalition have been postponed to Monday, September 18. Kenyans have been urged to continue submitting their memorandums so that every idea, concern, and suggestion are included in the framed agendas. As of yesterday, the National Dialogue Committee, through the Technical Committee, had received 142 memorandums from stakeholders. Embu Governor Cecily Mbarire, who is the Vice Chairperson of the National Dialogue Committee on the Kenya Kwanza side, said the bipartisan Technical Committee will have the whole week to revise the recommendations.
The National Dialogue Committee has resumed the bipartisan talks today at the Bomas of Kenya with the aim to discuss and revise the agenda agreed upon between the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition and the Kenya Kwanza Alliance members as they seek to come to a common ground and solve their differences. In our communication, Governor Cecily Mbarire noted that the talks have been postponed till next week. Mbarire said that the committee has received over 140 petitions from Kenyans who have requested the inclusion of their recommendations in the talks. She says that the 8-member technical committee will revise the recommendations presented to them. The National Dialogue Committee, under the leadership of co-chairs Kimani Ichung'wah, representing Kenya Kwanza, and Kalonzo Musyoka, representing Azimio, pointed out 5 key agenda that were to remain a topic of discussion in the dialogue process. They agreed to deal with the outstanding constitution matters, electoral justice, entrenching funds into the constitution, establishment and entrenchment of state office, and fidelity to political parties, and law on multi-party democracy. Meanwhile, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, while speaking at a church service at Rara in Meru County yesterday, bashed the talk, saying that the audit of the 2022 elections is not a matter of discussion and should be eliminated from the talks.
We are also encouraging bad habits. Your Excellency, we cannot allow an agenda to discuss and to audit the general election.
However, Azimio la Umoja leader Raila Odinga, while addressing Kisii resident yesterday, blasting the Kenya Kwanza brigade, claiming they are not taking the bipartisan talk seriously.
Tutawapatia nafasi waongee vizuri, tupate suluhu ya kudumu kwa mambo hii tuko nazo. Lakini wakileta nyokonyoko, simuko tayari.
National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, who is one of the co-chairs of the National Dialogue Committee, did not attend the talks slated for today due to an official duty he is undertaking overseas. James Murekemunda, KUTV.
Now, governors from the Lake region have today met with the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition leader Raila Odinga in a meeting aimed at evaluating the remarkable progress in devolution over the last decade. While addressing the press, Kisumu Governor Anyang' Nyong'o stated that matters development, politics, and international affairs dominated the talks in the meeting, which has been held as the coalition seeks to strengthen its political strongholds. This comes just days after the ODM party suspended the rival legislatures from the Nyanza region who have shown allegiance to the Kenya Kwanza government, a move that has seen Kisii Governor Simba Arati take up the vice chair position in the ODM party.
Sure. Though that be the case, it does not disturb us at all. And secondly, we did definitely talk about a lot of economic issues, transportation on the lake. That we are in Azimio, and we have the vision bearer, who has always been the father of change and progress in the nation. And there's no other party, no other coalition that can do it better than Azimio. So no wind can blow us apart. No earthquake can shake our foundation. And therefore, rest assured that though that be the case, it does not disturb us at all. And secondly, we did definitely talk about a lot of economic issues, transportation on the lake, how we can link our ports and beaches like used to happen in the East African Community days, what investments are needed, investment in agriculture, particular research, and the access to capital. And I think those are pertinent issues.
In other news, President William Ruto has launched the Central Securities Depository, though the Central Bank of Kenya, CBK. The digital facility is set to play a key role in eliminating barriers for Kenyans to trade in the financial market and will enhance efficiency in investments in government securities. Dorothy Musyoka with that report.
July 31st, 2023, the Central Bank of Kenya implemented the Thou Central Securities Depository, Thou CSD, to enhance efficiency investment in government securities. According to President William Ruto, the digital facility will eliminate barriers for Kenyans to trade in the financial market.
The first one is to remove all the structural barriers to the contribution of the majority of our people and eliminate systemic obstacles to their participation at any level in all sectors.
A new CSD that would enhance efficiency in government securities operations and introduce automation to foster growth and stability of the financial market. This is aligned with the CBK's strategic focus area of automation and commitment to promoting growth, efficiency, and stability of the financial sector.
Ruto says the system will lead to effective monetary policy and will enhance stability of financial system as it will ensure transparency and accountability to the government. The head of state points out that through the digitization of government services, Kenyans' resources have guaranteed safety.
New system delivers convenience, efficiency, and speed without compromising security and has enhanced security and transparency overall.
Thou CSD will enhance efficiency investment in treasury bills and treasury bonds, a development that will greatly benefit all investors and particularly the Kenyans in diaspora.
I also want to ask the team to look at the possibility of Kenyans in the diaspora who may not necessarily have a Kenyan bank account to use their Visa or MasterCard or credit card accounts to be able to also participate in the purchase of government securities.
President Ruto cited the need to democratize the move to ensure that it serves both large investors and small investors.
We need a bit of democratizing that space and reducing the denomination of the available instruments, not necessarily in the region of 50,000 or 100,000, but I think the team should be able, Governor Thuge, to democratize that space.
Thou CSD will also improve the functioning of the interbank market by facilitating collateralized lending among commercial banks and further reduce segmentation in the interbank market. Dorothy Musyoka, KUTV.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has today focused on strengthening the coffee market at the International Conference of Coffee Producers and Roasters in Bogota, Colombia. Gachagua is expected to make use of the occasion to advocate for backing as Kenya prepared to host the inaugural Africa Coffee Producers and Roasters Forum in 2024.
The Global Coffee Producers and Roasters Forum in Bogota, Colombia has brought together nations to discuss ways to improve the production and marketability of coffee. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua jetted to Colombia to attend the event together with coffee farmers and stakeholders in Kenya. The three-day visit will focus on signing of memoranda by the two countries as Kenya continue to market itself globally. Gachagua has stated that Kenya farmers and other subsector stakeholders have the chance to learn more about the most recent developments in coffee business. Kenya, being one of the special producers of coffee in the world, is said to benefit and learn from Colombia, which produces 12% of the world's coffee. Gachagua noted that there are currently 559 coffee cooperatives and 700,000 smallholders coffee producers, adding that Kenya Kwanza government is supporting the modernization and digitization of the infrastructure for the processing of coffee. DP will hold bilateral talks with the host Vice President Mina before similar consultations with the country's President Gustavo Petro Urrego. DP Gachagua will then head to Havana, Cuba to address the G77 summit. Edward Nyamo, KUTV.
Elsewhere, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki today held a progress tracking and evaluation meeting with senior Immigration State Department officers led by Principal Secretary, State Department of Immigration and Citizen Services Professor Julius B. Took and Director General Evelyn Cheluget. He later made a surprise visit at the offices of the Directorate of Civil Registration Services (CRC) to assess the efficiency of registration of births and deaths. Speaking during the commissioning of Biashara Location Chief's Office in Thika Town constituency, Kiambu County, Kindiki said all public offices will be required to have service charter displayed in an effort aimed towards eradicating corruption and ensure smooth delivery of services to the public.
We have also directed that all chiefs must display service charters in the waiting area where members of the public can be able to understand all the various types of services so that members of the public can know, first of all, the type of services that are offered. Number two, the time it takes to get that service provided. Maafisa wote wetu lazima waweke bidii kazini. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Tunakuja ofisi mapema, tunatoka late wakati mwananchi wa mwisho ameenda. Na kama rais anafanya kazi kwa bidii, sisi wengine wote tunapaswa tufanye zaidi hata zaidi. Also, we are going to put every public officer on performance contracts. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Mimi niko na pressure ya kuperform. I will also put you on pressure to perform.
All right, now we are taking a very fast short break at this point. Of course, so much more lined up for you. Stay with us.
Focus on Health is a show that creates awareness on matters health and informs you on various diseases, their causes, treatment, prevention, coping, and support. So join me, Bari Michelle, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. only on KUTV. You can also follow us on our social media platforms at KUTV Focus on Health on Facebook and also on YouTube, and Health Focus on Instagram, because your health is your wealth. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Kutoka kuwa jamii ya kuhamahama na sasa kujumuisha kilimo katika mitindo yao ya maisha. Kwenye toleo la kaunti ya Narok, hii ni Boresha Kilimo, kwani afya bora ni kilimo bora. Kwani kilimo ndicho huboresha maisha.
Kipindi hewani ni mitindo ya kipwani. Kama ilivyo kipindi hiki kinahusu nyimbo za taarab, chakacha, midwara, midundiko, bila kusahau mapishi. Ambao ndio uti wa mgongo wa pwani ya Afrika Mashariki.
Jamani, swahibu zangu mliopo maskani, hatuonani wenzangu, najua mwanitamani.
Hapa KUTV, nahodha mwendesha chombo cha baharini, yani ua linalunukia na kuvutia waridi tamu.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. You're watching KUTV Primetime News. Let's continue with our coverage. Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has said that the county is well prepared for the expected El Nino rains, which have been predicted by the Kenya Meteorological Department to start this October all the way to January 2024. While unveiling his plan, Governor Sakaja explained how the county is prepared to mitigate effects of the expected heavy downpour, as Caroline Kimwele reports.
Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has unveiled a martial El Nino plan to prepare for the expected El Nino rains and prevent its effects. At the launch, Governor Sakaja mentioned climate change and poor construction of buildings as some of the 5 main causes of drainage problems in Nairobi County.
There is quite a lot of inadequate and ill-maintained drainage. Our building of drainage has not come close to meeting the growing needs of Nairobians, and even when we've built it, we must admit that there has been failure to maintain them to the standards required. And that is why there are blocked drainages in parts of the city, diverted ones in other parts of the county.
However, Sakaja has a plan to start cleaning sewage ditches through 3,500 young people who are being employed as environmental officers in the county.
Our team has mapped out, our mobility team together with the works team and disaster team, they have mapped out areas that are hotspots. There are very many. I can't list all of them, but we will give you the details in every sub-county. Areas which have been prone to flooding, areas where there have been landslides, and based on the pattern and the expected rainfall, and the meteorological department is going to brief us, in some of the areas we'll have to evacuate people.
In the Marshall Plan, 2,500 environmental officers have already been employed, and Nairobi County is in the process of hiring additional 1,000 officers. Cabinet Secretary for Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development, Zakaria Njeru, has said that the plan is in collaboration with other government institutions, including the Kenya National Highways Authority, KENHA, urging other counties to emulate the plan.
There is a need to develop a stormwater drainage master plan for the Nairobi metropolitan region, as a well-designed combined infrastructure is critical, as some flash floods from Kajiado County, especially in Ngong Hills, flow as far as Machakos and Nairobi city counties.
Governor Sakaja has also warned those who have illegally encroached on drainage systems and contractors who build on riparian areas.
That those who have illegally encroached on drainage, illegally encroached on facilities that are meant to make the city flow and water flow, I have instructed the ward admins and sub-county admins and inspectorate team not to have any negotiations with them, to issue enforcement notices immediately, and by Friday to have removed all of those structures. We will not allow the selfishness of a few people to cause damage of lives and livelihoods.
Kenya last experienced El Nino rains in 2006, with the worst El Nino season being experienced in 1997. As the newly employed environmental officers kickstart their duties, the county of Nairobi is on the forefront to ensure cleanliness is restored and drainage systems are unblocked in order to curb the effects of the upcoming El Nino rains. Caroline Kimwele, KUTV, Nairobi.
Now, following numerous complaints from consumers across the country regarding high electricity prices, Kenyans have enjoyed reduced power tokens prices in the last 2 months after Kenya Power initiated price cuts. In a financial landscape marked by rising demands for better compensation, Kenya's government is facing a daunting challenge. Expenditures on bonuses, salary reviews and benefits have surged to 4.27 billion Kenya shillings, with bonuses alone accounting for 34% of this total. All this in today's Business Wrap with Charles Kirubi.
In response to widespread consumer complaints about soaring electricity prices, Kenya Power and Lighting Company has delivered a welcome relief in the form of reduced power token rates over the past 2 months. Investigations reveals that in September, consumers are now receiving 37.61 units for 1,000 Kenya shillings, a significant improvement from August's 31.15 units. Furthermore, For 100 Kenya shillings, consumers now get 3.76 units compared to 3.67 in August and 3.59 in July. This price reduction coincides with Kenya Power CEO Joseph Siro's statements emphasizing that electricity is now the most affordable energy source in Kenya. In a significant financial development, the Kenyan government's expenditure on bonuses, pay increments and collective bargaining agreement CBS has reached a staggering 4.2 billion in the fiscal year ending in June. This unprecedented spending has intensified the strain on the government's finances, surpassing the 2.5 billion shillings increase reported in the previous financial year. The Salary and Remuneration Commission SRC has disclosed that it had approved various salary increments, bonus requests, and allowances collectively contributing to the mounting wage bill. A detailed analysis of the data reveals that bonuses and rewards constituted the largest chunk of expenditure at 1.43 billion shillings, representing 34% of the total cost. Salary reviews followed closely at 1.2 billion shillings, while allowances and benefits accounted for 1.2 billion shillings. Charles Kirubi, KUTV.
All right, Tana River County residents are increasingly taking up teacher and medical training courses as a way of addressing a shortage of medical staff and teachers in local schools and hospitals. In other news, the Canadian Minister for International Development, Ahmed Hussein, has applauded Kirinyaga County administration for the efforts put in promoting youth agripreneurship in the county. For this and more, take a look at today's county wrap.
Garsen constituency member of parliament Ali Goyo Wario has dedicated resources to fully sponsor students ready to take up teacher and medical training so that they can get posted in schools and medical facilities in the area after completion of their studies.
Sisi tumetangaza scholarship ya mambo ya walimu kwa sababu tuko na shida kubwa sana Tana River. Tukisema Tana River, Northern Kenya yote tuko na shida, hasa katika shule za primary school. Vijana wetu hawajaenda training school ya walimu. Ndio maana kila siku shule za Tana River ziko na shortage ya walimu.
Walimu wengine si kwao, hata mahali inakaa mistuni hawawezi. Lakini hawa wetu wakianzishwa wanaweza kuishi sababu ni nyumbani wanajua. Lakini hawa walimu kutoka bara hawajui, huku wanaona kama ni msitu. Tasi makosa yao.
Also in Kirinyaga County, the Canadian Minister for International Development, Ahmed Hussein, has applauded the county government of Kirinyaga for adapting modern agricultural techniques and supporting young people to embrace agriculture as a career option for economic development.
Thank the Kirinyaga County Government, the Deputy Governor, for really welcoming me very warmly to this part of Kenya and to allow me to see what's really going on here, which is how people are embracing, especially young people, they're embracing agriculture as a path for a career option, but also for economically developing not only themselves but the entire community. And I want to commend the Kirinyaga County Government partnering with other partners to really leverage agriculture as a source of economic prosperity and development for the community.
We have 200 farmers group who have been trained. The 200 groups, the total is about 4,000 farmers through this Kuza Biashara innovation.
By using digital technology in agriculture, the youth are able to operate agribusiness in a more professional manner and increase production and profitability. Cynthia Ndiritu, KUTV.
Our borders. Last month, Canada imposed sanctions on Russia's nuclear sector. Targets included subsidiaries of Russia's Rosatom State Nuclear Energy Corporation. The United States imposed similar sanctions in April, yet the West continues to have ties with Rosatom, which dominates the nuclear fuel supply chain. Alexei Kovalenko of the Voice of America has the story, narrated by Anna Rice. Take a look.
The West has been steadily reducing its dependence on Russian fossil fuels, but extending this to nuclear fuel is proving to be more of a challenge. According to Forbes, Russia's Rosatom State Nuclear Energy Corporation alone controls 38% of the world's enriched uranium market, with Russia as a whole holding 46%. Ukrainian authorities have repeatedly appealed to Western governments, urging them to sanction Russia's nuclear industry, specifically Rosatom. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has also urged European Union leaders to take a tougher stance.
Ukraine doesn't understand why there are still no sanctions imposed on Rosatom, whose people continue to occupy the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant and put our safety at risk.
The answer lies in import numbers. According to Euratom, supply agency of the European Atomic Energy Community, Europe reported getting about 17% of its uranium in 2022 from Russia, and about 27% from Russian ally Kazakhstan. The EU's reliance on Russia's nuclear fuel is expected to grow as nations embrace alternatives to fossil fuels. In 2022 alone, U.S. companies purchased nuclear fuel from Russia worth $1 billion. In April 2023, the U.S. imposed sanctions against Rosatom subsidiaries.
Back in the early days of sanctions, when I was doing them for the U.S. government in 2014, I urged every company I could find that was doing business in Russia to find a way to diversify their sources so the Russians would have leverage. And I think we are rather late in diversifying our sources of nuclear material.
Sonia D. Schmidt agrees. The Virginia Tech Associate Professor of Science and Technology Studies says the West can find other uranium suppliers, but it'll be tough to find alternative ways to enrich uranium.
Uranium enrichment is not something that you can set up overnight. That's a process that takes time, that takes investment, and that is expensive. So, you know, if you in a capitalist market, you look for who has already set up such facilities and who can provide that.
Ukraine aims to become such a supplier. Minister of Energy German Galushenko says the country signed a deal in June 2022 for the U.S. nuclear power company Westinghouse to supply fuel to all Ukrainian atomic power stations. Galushenko believes Ukraine can start producing its own nuclear fuel in about 3 years. In time, Ukraine might supply nuclear fuel to Czechia, Slovakia, Finland and Bulgaria that are using the same reactors as Ukraine.
This will allow us to get rid of the Russian monopoly that sadly exists today.
Some European countries have already taken steps to overcome their dependence on Russian nuclear fuel. Finland has terminated its agreement with Russia to build a new power station, and neighboring Sweden's state-owned utility Vattenfall has refused to buy Russian nuclear fuel at all. Many Western countries still depend on Russia's nuclear fuel, and this dependence slows the effects that sanctions might have on Russia. The solution, experts believe, lies in finding alternative sources, and Ukraine hopes it can become one of them. For Alexei Kovalenko in Washington, Anna Rice, VOA News.
All right, that brings us to our second break right here at KTV Primetime News. We're coming back with sports and a feature story for you. Stay with us.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Nothing is too good for my daughter.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
People pass vuguvugu. People pass ni idea.
Tazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni duniani leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Fashionistas, get ready to level up your style game. Tune in to Fashion Diaries every Monday at 8 p.m. with me, Ashley Asach. From killer heels to slit suits, we've got the trends that will make you shine. Don't be left out. Join us for a fashion-filled adventure. Let's now take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. Africa's fastest man, Ferdinand Omanyala, beat Oblique Seville of Jamaica and Olympic champion Marcel Jacobs in the men's 100 meters at the World Athletics Continental Tour Gold Meeting in the city of Zagreb, Croatia. Omanyala dusted off his frustrating performance in the World Athletics Championships in Budapest by finishing in 9.94 seconds. Seville and Jacobs finished second and third respectively. Omanyala is gearing up to take part in the Diamond League finals set to take place this weekend in Eugene, Oregon, United States of America. The Kenya women's football national team Harambee Starlets have kicked off preparations for their upcoming qualifier matches of the 2024 Women Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON against Cameroon. Starlets are set to depart for Cameroon on Wednesday, September 20th, ahead of their first leg match set to be played on Friday, September 22nd in Yaoundé, before playing the second leg match on September 26th in Nairobi. The winner of the second leg tie will either face Gabon or Botswana in the second round to secure automatic qualification to the 2024 Women African Cup of Nations set to be played in Morocco.
And world number 2 Novak Djokovic set a new record after winning his 24th Grand Slam title in the U.S. Open tennis finals at the Author Stadium in New York, United States. Djokovic stormed to victory against Russia's Daniil Medvedev after winning 3 sets of 6-3, 7-6 and 6-3 to clinch a record singles 24 Grand Slam trophies, surpassing Spain's Rafael Nadal record of 22 titles and Roger Federer's 20 titles. All right, that brings us to the end of our bulletin tonight. Not really, but my name is Ann Odida. I'm in the company of Samuel Kelo, our sign language interpreter tonight. Do enjoy the rest of your week, but before we go, the 2022 drought in Kenya left residents of Basil Town in Kajiado County go waterless as many rivers and wells dried up during that period. The residents have to now bear the consequences of the drought by walking for miles to look for water and also dig deeper into their pockets to afford the commodity. Our reporter Ruth Wanjiru took a trip to Kajiado County and prepared this report. Take a look.
This is Basil Town in Kajiado County. From afar it looks dry, but the reality of its dryness hits hard when you get closer to the town. Here, water is a dream that not too many can afford. For them, their thirst for the commodity is far from being quenched, and being one of the arid and semi-arid areas makes things even worse. Early in the morning, the residents' quest for water begins. Donkeys and motorcycles can be seen carrying jerrycans around as they're the main means of transporting water in the town. But one would ask, where does this water come from? How frequent do they get the water? Is the water reliable? And how clean is the water? Sabunyol, a resident in the town, tells us that the availability and reliability of water depends on how deep your pockets are. He states that most boreholes dug by the county government have dried up and are too far from the town.
Sisi tuko hapa, kuna watu wako na pesa wanaweza kuchimba maji. Sasa wakichimba maji, hao wanapata maji. Tunaenda kununua pale. Na sio unaenda kununua unatumana unaagizwa na pikipiki. Maana labda mimi niko mbali, siwezi kwenda huko na mitungi kuchota maji. Labda tunategemea mapunda na wale ambao watu wa bodaboda ambao wanatuzia maji shilingi 20 kwa lita kwa mtungi moja ya 20 liters.
Paris Wenrimu owns a hotel business in the town center, so water is the most important commodity for her business. She tells us the shortage of water not only affects her household but also her business.
Kwa sababu hata hiyo pesa ni ngumu sana kupatikana kulingana na ile hali iko. Mambo imekuwa ngumu, kwa hivyo hata inaniletea hasara. Unakuta ya kwamba hata hiyo maji tukiletewa, tunaletewa kwa hali ya madeni. Na hiyo madeni mzigo inakuwa kubwa, tunashindwa mpaka na kulipa yale maji.
It is even worse for the two with the skyrocketing cost of living.
Sasa hii maisha imekuwa ngumu. Hii maisha sijui kama ni maji utanunua ama ni unga. Na ndio huyu rais wetu anasema ati tupande sijui tulime. Tunalima nini? Na unaona kiangazi vile iko.
Despite being salty, some residents of Basil draw water from boreholes, something they agree is not sustainable.
Sasa unakuta hiyo hali ya maji imetuagamiza kabisa. Maana tunashindwa tutanunua chakula ama tutanunua maji. Kwa sababu tunapitia hali gumu sana. unakuta ya kwamba hata watoto wetu saa ingine wanaamuka bila hata kufanya chochote.
However, those in quest of fresh water also get it, but at a price as well. We're directed to a shop that sells water using a machine. Here, one can get a glass of water at 5 shillings. The water, we are told, is brought in from other places, especially Naivasha, through water tankers. The owners of such shops buy and then later sell the water to the residents.
Glass of water goes for 5 shillings, 5 Kenyan shillings. And he tells me that the residents here would come and say what they want. If you want 10 shillings, you get your water for 10 shillings. If you want 20 shillings, you get your water for 20 shillings. And I mean, this is a nice technology considering the fact that this is a dry area. So whenever there is a market, whenever it's a market day, this is what they do. You come and they use this glass right here. Sometimes they use this glass right here. You come and then they give you your water.
Apart from boreholes, we are also told that rivers are a dependable source of water. We therefore take a trip to the Bisil River, where the picture of the lack of water becomes even clearer. Even for the animals, the hope to quench their thirst looks bleak. The river is characterized by stones, grass, and only few patches of water.
Kajiado County being an arid and semi-arid area, drying up of rivers is common. Now this is River Bisil. River Bisil has dried up. All that's left of it are stones. Now this situation not only affects the human beings, but animals who are dependent on rivers for survival.
According to research statistics, the prolonged drought left over 5.4 million people in Kenya without adequate food and water. Unfortunately for the residents of Bisil, the consequences of the drought continue to haunt them to date. Although boreholes are dug both by the county government and other residents, and water tankers are established by different self-help groups, the magnitude of water shortage in Bisil is one that needs immediate attention from both the county and national government.
They say water is life and man cannot live without water. But for the residents of Bisil, their thirst for water is far from being quenched, as they have to dig deeper into their pockets to afford the essential commodity. Ruth Wanjiru for Kutv, Kajiado County.